Olá, boa noite. O Exou Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 5 de Secret Files 2, Puritas Cordis. O Max conseguiu localizar a Sam e entrou no templo para tentar algum jeito de libertá-la. Nina, por seu turno, conseguiu escapar do navio naufragado junto com o seu salvador. Encontrou a carta cifrada antiga que o professor Peterson tinha dado jeito de passar para ela no porto de embarque para o cruzeiro. Agora, numa praia deserta, tem que atender a uma emergência médica do seu companheiro de naufrágio, uma hipoglicemia que pode matá-lo.
I do hope he'll last a little longer. I need to hurry up and find some glucose, or at least some sugar. But where? My suitcase! I can't believe it got washed ashore right here and now. I mean, what are the odds?
E qual a possibilidade de ter açúcar na sua maleta?
Oh, I hope there's something usable in here. A lot of the stuff in here is damp, but this still looks dry enough to wear. Everything else in here is damp.
O resto ela não quer. Uma roda vai servir.
No idea what this wheel might have been used for. A whole crate full of life vests washed ashore here.
É bom pegar o colete
I'll just
salva-vidas
take
agora.
one of these.
Por que só um se você está acompanhada, dona moça? Placa de metal.
A dirty sheet of metal. A diver's spear gun, including some spears.
Uma arma de arpão.
Who would just dump a car battery in the sea? I thought this was the age of environmentalism.
Isso, uma bateria de carro é ideal para guardar no bolsinho da calça. Barril
There are
também.
warning notices on it. Flammable and corrosive. There's still some liquid at the bottom of the barrel. I can't shift it. However, I don't think I really need to anyway. I bet it contains all kinds of handy tools. Unfortunately, it's locked. A fire hose. Pretty wide, pretty long, and pretty heavy. It probably belonged to some ship.
Guarda no bolso. Claro. Mangueira de bombeiros. Abre essa caixa sem ferramentas. Oh, não, ela pegou, não. Não abriu, mas guardou no bolsinho. Cabo de alta tensão.
There must be quite a charge on that cable. Sparks are flying from the live end, and the ground all around it looks scorched. I'm not going anywhere near that. I don't have a death wish.
A Bá lembrou bem que agora ela tem mais espaço para guardar as coisas grandes, porque tem os bolsos do casaquinho.
A dark briefcase without a handle. This has seen better days. A hat stand. A simple rake that's missing a few teeth. I hope no one expects me to tidy up this beach with it. I hope there's something in there that I can use to revive my unresponsive friend. Something to counter his hypoglycemia would be good. There seem to be place names on that signpost, but I can't read them from here. Heaps of small pebbles. The sea is quite calm again. The chaos on the beach and the junk floating in the filthy water are the only reminders of that disastrous flood wave. I'm glad we even made it to dry land. I've done quite enough bathing for one day.
Vamos ver. Pedrinhos.
I picked these up on the beach.
Rastelo.
A simple rake that's missing
Percheiro.
a hat stand.
Ah, é para pôr chapéus. Chapeleiro.
This has seen better days.
Uma bolsa que não está em seu melhor momento, mas ela, em vez de abrir a bolsa...
Let's see. A handful of worthless documents and a candy bar.
Ó, chocolate.
Good idea. I'm sure the sugar in this candy bar would help him. But I'm afraid he's in no condition to chew anything at the moment. I should find something for him to drink.
Ah, vai ter que fazer chocolate quente para tomar.
This contains about the same amount of calories as a hearty meal. A fire hose. Pretty wide.
Bateria. Coisa com arpão, a placa de metal. Acho que vai usar lá no cabo para dar choque em alguma coisa. Ou vai carregar a bateria lá.
I would need some kind of charging device to recharge the battery. Just holding it up to the power cable won't accomplish anything.
Ela vai fazer isso, mas não sabe como. Com a placa metálica? Não. A roda com a mangueira de bombeiro?
I'll just wind this hose around here.
A caixa de ferramentas não abre, ela diz que está trancada.
I've wound the hose around the wheel hub.
Ah, os documentos que ela pegou na pasta, ela não examinou ainda.
The documents from the briefcase. Bills and other insignificant papers.
Tá, então esses papéis vão servir para fazer uma fogueirinha lá no curto-circuito para fazer o chocolate quente. E também ela não subiu lá em cima ainda, né, para ver a caixa de primeiros socorros.
I could easily get over there, but getting back might pose a problem. First, I'll try to find something to help my unconscious companion over here.
Então, não.
I can't reach it.
Ela não alcança.
I'd have to be some kind of comic book hero to get up there. Or a talented rock climber.
Então vai ter que resolver com as coisas que tem no inventário e aqui na cena do crime.
There's a box near the top of the pole. Probably a fuse box. I can't just climb up that pole. I was no good at that kind of thing back in school, and this one's damp and slippery. Nothing doing.
Quer dizer, o arpão? Ah, o arpão ela vai atirar no poste de luz.
I've always wanted to have a go at firing one of these.
Ah, ela vai fazer uma escadinha. Já fez. E o que ela vai fazer lá em
I could probably
cima?
climb up to the fuse box now, but there's no way I'm using my bare hands to tinker with it. It would have been useful on board that sinking ship, but not here.
É, o colete salva-vidas ela não quer pôr. E nem usar no poste de luz. Placa de metal com o rastel.
If I bend this sheet of metal a bit and then lodge it between those teeth, there, it worked.
Funcionou e fez o quê?
Sometimes I'm really quite proud of my ingenuity.
Uma pá improvisada? Com chocolate?
This metal sheet is covered in rust and totally filthy. I wouldn't put any food on there, not even if it's covered with several layers of wrappers.
Lavar essa pá no mar primeiro, então? Não. E por que deu ação com a comida, então? Com o chocolate? Se não era para usar. Bateria com a caixa de ferramentas.
The car battery contains a strong acid. If I pour just a little on this lock, that should do the trick. Yes, it worked! Quite an impressive selection of tools, but I don't have anything to tinker with right now.
Eu não tenho onde usar essas ferramentas.
Luckily, there's a pair of insulated pliers in the toolbox. Okay, here goes.
Legal que ela tá subindo no poste, consertando e não sabe por quê. Eu, pelo menos, não tenho a mínima ideia de por que ela foi fazer isso. Desligou a energia. Agora ela pode pegar o cabo.
The power's off, but what am I supposed to do with the cable?
O que eu devo fazer com o cabo, já que a energia está desligada?
If I tear up these documents, they should burn quite well. Yay! It worked! The documents are on fire. The power's off. The fire will probably go out long before the chocolate melts.
Ah, ela vai levar a pequena chama para o barril com alguma coisa no fundo.
Let's hope this doesn't result in a high jet of flame. I don't need a bad hair day on top of everything else. Great! Now I have a lovely fire going that should burn for some time, hopefully. The fire isn't hot enough to melt it. What else could I do with it? Put it next to the barrel? Inside it? Then what? I don't know. Maybe I'll think of something later.
Se nem a Bá teve ideia para isso, como é que ela espera ter? E esse cara que coma o chocolate ou morra e pronto.
The hypoglycemia is so bad that he's totally unresponsive. If I don't do something about it pretty soon, he will probably die. It's not very airworthy. After all, it was made to be used in the water.
Disse que tinha ação, colete salva-vidas com a maleta de socorros, mas é só para tirar sarro da gente, não.
This is way too heavy.
Ah, vai jogar as pedrinhas lá em cima, então.
A single pebble is too small, and a handful would probably just scatter all over the beach.
Uma pedrinha não dá, várias se espalham.
I might be able to throw this bag far enough, but I don't think it would have sufficient oomph, or kinetic energy, to use a more technical expression.
As pedrinhas na bolsa. Eu já tentei isso, não tentei não.
The pebbles are much easier to carry inside this bag. And now for my attempt at a new bag throwing record. I'm a genius.
Pegou o balde para derreter o chocolate.
A handy bucket. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Rats, no glucose, just a couple of bandages. Looks like I'll have to think of something else.
Agora ela ficou com 2 baldes, ela pegou um, ficou com 2. E não coloca o chocolate no balde. Vai lavar primeiro.
Before I scoop up any water, I need to make sure the bucket doesn't fill up with any rubbish and dirt. The flood wave flushed out plenty into the sea. I could hang this bucket on the hat stand. All right, that's what I'll do then. I hung the bucket on the hat stand. Not that I have the faintest idea what good it will do. The bucket could easily hang over the fire, but I don't think a fried bucket would be very tasty. Let's mummify this.
Mumificar o balde?
An expertly bandaged bucket.
O que vai pro mar é esse balde com gaze para filtrar a água.
Good idea. That way I should be able to get some reasonably clean water. The water in the bucket looks reasonably clean. I'll just pour the water into the bucket hanging from the hat stand. I hung the bucket on the hat stand. It's not exactly the hat stand's job description, but it will just have to adapt.
E agora dá para fazer balde assado.
So, what's on the menu today?
Balde assado, claro.
Good idea. But I'll pour away some of this water first. I'm sure I don't need that much for this little candy bar. There, that's better. Soup au chocolat. This recipe may get me my own cooking show someday. The candy bar has melted. I can take the bucket down now. It will probably still taste a bit salty, but in this case, the end justifies the means. Here, drink this. It will help.
Ah, thank you so much. I really needed that.
You're welcome. Looks like I've taken the lead in our little life-saving contest. You owe me.
Yes, you're probably right. You'll want some answers to your questions, I suppose.
Well, I've been robbed, knocked out, shot at, and nearly drowned. I'd say a few answers are the least I can expect, wouldn't you?
Right. Let's start at the beginning. First, my name is David Corell. I'm a vicar in Berlin, and I investigate sects and the dangers they pose on behalf of the church.
Pleased to meet you. Nina Kalinkov.
Very nice to meet you. So, as I said, I deal with certain associations outside of the church. Some time ago, I came across a new, very aggressive sect by the name of Puritas Cordis.
The sect of that televangelist, Pat Shelton?
Right on. Apparently, Puritas Cordis believes in the prophecies of Zandona, an obscure 17th century French prophet.
Something along the lines of Nostradamus?
Yes, but the prophecies of Nostradamus were really vague and quite open to interpretation. Zandona, on the other hand, predicted a series of very real disasters. They were supposed to happen in a specific order, culminating in the apocalypse.
Zandona. Now, where have I heard that name before?
I tried to look him up in old church archives. Not very successfully, though.
You mean there's nothing at all about Zandona?
Not much. At least not anymore. The central registers are missing several tomes of records from this period. And I didn't have much luck in other archives either. Practically all records that might have contained some information about Zandona have vanished into thin air. Then, 2 weeks ago, a centuries-old parchment surfaced in Cambridge. A letter from a nun mentioning Zandona. The very letter you're carrying right now.
Ah, so that's what these people on the ship were looking for?
I think so, yes. Anyone who possesses it is definitely in danger.
Just my luck.
The last person who had the letter before you was my colleague, Patterson. He was going to follow some clues from the letter in northern France. He was the one who slipped you the letter at the harbor. He was probably being followed, and when he noticed, he passed the letter on to you. Not a moment too soon. May the Lord have mercy on his soul.
And now I'm stuck with it.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm so sorry that you got dragged into this. I witnessed the so-called accidents at the harbor. I realized he must have given someone the letter, so I boarded the ship in his place. I wanted to make sure the letter didn't fall into the wrong hands, and that its new owner was safe.
People are being murdered for an old letter? Could its contents really be that important?
Ashford, England, Anno Domini 1681. Now that my grey life is moving towards its equally grey closure, I can finally muster the courage to write down what I saw. My hands are still shaking today when I think of all the poor souls of Gatineau. I will never forget them. Screaming women, burning houses, crying children. A flaming inferno. Just like he predicted. Just like every single one of the disasters he foretold. This Zandona, he may be a man of faith. He may be a prophet. But is he also a man of God? There is no sense in musing about that now. I have failed. The key lay within my hands. The key that could have halted all the looming disasters and changed the course of events. The burning mountains, the great flood, the apocalypse. Perhaps it was up to me to prevent them. But my faith was weak. All those years, the key lay well hidden within the ruins of Gatineau, and the saint who showed me the way appeared to me in a dream every night. But my fear was too great, and I never returned there. I have failed, and therefore all I have left is hope, the hope that those brothers and sisters who follow may not succumb to the phantoms of fear, doubt, and weakness, as I did. The hope that they may boldly take the only path that is still open, strong in faith and fearless in action. I pray to God that it might be thus. Otherwise, the last of the prophecies will come true as well, and our fates will be sealed. May the Lord be with you. May you find the strength to take the key and try to stem the tide of Zandona's prophecies. Forgive me, Sister Elise.
That doesn't sound good.
Not good? Sister Elise basically announced that the apocalypse is almost upon us.
Oh, come on. That seems a bit exaggerated.
Have you already forgotten the flood wave then?
How could I?
See? And what did the letter say? It mentioned a flood wave, didn't it?
That could be a coincidence.
And by mere coincidence, some people are leaving dead bodies in their wake just to get their hands on this letter? And by mere coincidence, during these last few weeks, a major part of the very disasters that Zandona foretold happened one after the other, in the exact order of the prophecy.
Which is...
First pestilence and disease, just like the epidemic in Western Africa that still has millions of people living as fugitives.
So you think that was the first harbinger? What next?
Next, the punishment of the greedy.
The burning oil fields in the Middle East leading up to a severe economic crisis?
Probably, and then a war.
There are plenty of those to choose from. But the most gruesome is probably the civil war in South America, triggered by the collapse of the financial system.
Earthquake.
Japan.
Burning mountains.
The volcanic eruptions in Southeast Asia.
Followed by a flood.
Which we've seen for ourselves. You're beginning to scare me.
I am sorry, but this is what Zandona's prophecy says. And it is also what the Puritas Cordis sect is preaching. I have no idea what the key might be that Sister Elise mentions in her letter, but she seems to think that the prophecies can be stopped by using this key.
How can anyone stop a prophecy?
Beats me, but I know this much. If there is even the slightest possibility that all those disasters may actually be followed by the apocalypse, we have a real problem on our hands. And if there is even a remote possibility of stopping the apocalypse, or at least taking some appropriate preventive measures, then we should definitely make use of it.
Okay, you're right. I can't and won't really believe that a bunch of old prophecies are about to come true. But looking down from a cloud afterwards and saying, if only I had, doesn't seem too tempting either. What do you suggest?
We need to go to Gatineau.
Where exactly is that?
The place vanished from the history books centuries ago. But a few years ago, they discovered the ruins of a small town that they think is Gatineau. And if there is anything left to find there, we must do so before anyone else does. Before it's too late.
Then we should head there immediately. There's another section of beach over that way. Maybe we'll find something there that will help us get away from here. I'm going to need your help, though. It's a rather steep descent.
That should be all right. I'm still feeling sort of shaky, but I guess I'll be up to lending you a hand for a little climb. When you want to come back, just let me know. I'll help you get up here then.
Great. I'm going to take a look around.
You do that. Maybe you can somehow fix the boat over there. And it would be good to know where on earth we are.
Ele passou ela pro outro lado do muro ali.
This was probably attached to the motorcycle. It looks a bit tattered, but you never know. There might still be something usable inside. A map. It looks about as tattered as the tank bag, but I guess that was to be expected. This was obviously washed ashore here. I wonder what laws of the sea apply here. The suitcase is locked.
A outra também estava fechada e ela pegou.
Too bad it's been wrecked. It probably got washed away by the flood wave. It must have been a fine machine, but now it's just scrap metal, except for the engine. I can't make any use of it in this state. Without a front wheel, the motorcycle is resting on the ground. There's no way I can push it through the soft sand like this.
Aí a roda com a mangueira de bombeiros. Vai fazer uma
I've fixed
gambiarra.
plenty of motorcycles before, but this is a bit different.
E agora o que falta mais? Uma bateria.
This motorcycle is a total wreck. A car battery won't be any use here.
A bateria não serve aí.
A map of northern France. Now, if I could just figure out where I am, this could actually prove useful.
Tem que chegar naquela placa que ela viu.
It still looks quite sound. At least I can't see any holes in it. No sail, no engine, no oars. We wouldn't get far in this.
Bateria. Não. Caixa de ferramentas para consertar o bote. Não, para consertar a moto.
The engine still looks halfway usable. However, it also looks extremely heavy. Carrying it around would not be good for my health, and is therefore not an option I should seriously consider. Great idea. I can use that to lift the boat. I'll go get some more of those life vests. Now it looks like a hovercraft.
Ah, grande ideia.
It still looks quite sound. At least I can't see any holes in it. No sail, no...
E que graça teve colocar esses coletes salva-vidas embaixo do bote? E a motocicleta ela não quer usar? Ah, ela segura a motocicleta para pôr no bote?
A wise man once said, if the boat will not come to the motorcycle will go to the boat.
Tá, trouxe a motocicleta até aqui.
Yes, I could use the shovel as a paddle when we leave here, but I'll keep it for now just in case I need it for something else.
Necessito pra quê?
I wonder if this landslide was caused by the flood wave. A packing slip. Looks like someone ordered a load of truck alternators. Any hope of their delivery seems to have been well and truly shattered. The cardboard is totally soaked. I can't make any use of it. I'll never be able to move the entire landslide, but I'll just dig near these scraps of packaging. Maybe the contents are still around here too. A fan blade from a truck's alternator. Looks like my digging has actually turned up something useful. I might actually be able to use the fan blade as a propeller. But first I would have to turn this rowboat into a motorboat. The suitcase is locked.
E essa mala que ela não quer pegar? Por que fica dando ação?
A little acid from the battery should work
De
wonders.
novo. Pensei que não ia usar essa coisa ridícula de novo.
What have we got here? This suit doesn't look too bad. And there's a digital camera here, too. I should make a habit of looting stranded suitcases. A state-of-the-art digital camera. I could probably watch bacteria grow with this. This looks decent enough. It's not my size. Still not quite the picture of health, but he's looking much better than before. How are you doing?
I'm still feeling rather weak, but I'll be all right.
Colocação. Bote.
So I'm supposed to find out where we are?
Yes, we need to get to Gatineau as fast as possible. But as long as we don't know where we are, we also won't know in what direction we need to go.
That makes sense. Is this boat really our only chance of getting out of here?
I'm afraid so.
I had better get back to working on the rest of our problems.
Oh, I would really love to help you, but...
It's all right. You're already helping me by providing a way to move from one side of the beach to the other. Could you pull me up?
Sure, no problem.
Quando clica na passagem, daí ele ajuda. Se ela fala com ele, ele não oferece ajuda, não nada. Mas como é que ela vai subir lá naquela placa para saber onde está? Fotografar a placa e ampliar na câmera digital?
The camera's optical and digital zoom functions are really handy. I can even read the place names from that signpost on the camera's display. Thanks to the digital zoom, I can even see the place names in this picture of the signpost. They don't mean much to me, though.
Dá o mapa para ele, já tentei, ele não quer.
The map shows the same towns I saw written on the signpost, including Gatineau, the place David Carell spoke of. It's a bit more than a stone's throw away, but easy enough to find. We just have to follow the Seine upstream.
Vai dizer agora onde estamos.
I figured out where we are and in what direction we need to travel to get to Gatineau.
I'm very glad to hear that. Now, we'll just have to figure out how to get away from here.
O fim do mundo? A carta que passaram para Nina antes que embarcasse está datada do ano de 1681. A escreveu uma monja chamada Irmã Elise e descreve as profecias de um tal Zandona, que predisse uma série de desastres naturais que levariam ao apocalipse. Pat Shelton e sua seita, Puritas Cordis, asseguram que os recentes eventos anunciam que o fim do mundo é iminente, tal e como profetizou Zandona há mais de 300 anos. Poderiam ter razão? E poderia estar a chave para evitá-lo nas ruínas da cidade medieval de Gatineau? Dá essa roupa para ele, então.
Look, I found you some nice dry clothes. Well, nice might be stretching it a bit, but at least they are dry.
The way you are fussing over me, you would make a great nun.
That's a bit of an overstatement. You'd better get changed. I won't look, I promise.
This is much better.
Pronto, partimos agora? Só faltava trocar de roupa?
Yes, that might do the trick. I'll remove this engine and attach it to the boat. Off to work.
Eu tinha tentado isso, mas a moto
perfect
tinha que estar
fit.
aqui para ela fazer essa besteira. Ela não podia trazer. Ela chegou a falar que o motor era pesado, né? Mas não apareceu que ela estava vindo para cá empurrando.
A nearly perfect makeshift propeller. My training as a motorcycle mechanic has proved useful once again.
Partimos agora, então. Vamos embora, já consertei o bote.
I think we have everything we need now. Our current location, a map to get us to our destination, a more or less intact boat, and dry clothes.
Yes, I think we can head for Gatineau now.
Let's hope we find the clues we're looking for there.
I certainly hope so, too.
Enquanto isso, na Indonésia,
It's pretty dark in here. I can't see a thing, but at least I'm inside the temple, which means I'm closer to rescuing Sam. Let there be light. A hard hat with a lamp on is a pretty useful thing. Something behind this door must be giving off that red glow. Looks like modern art, but it's probably actually pretty old. There are 3 rows of stone buttons with a lot of different symbols here. Looks a bit like an ancient control panel. There's a square niche in this wall. No idea what it's for. Maybe you're supposed to put something inside it again. There are 3 rows of stone buttons here, 8 buttons per row. Looks like you can only push 1 button in each row. If you push a second button, the first one will pop back out again. Which button should I push in the top row? Looks like modern art, but it's probably actually pretty old.
deve tocar este aqui.
Which symbol should I choose in the second row? What should I choose in row 3? Oh, that didn't do any good.
Código de cores. A pintura da parede parece ser formada por diversos símbolos de distintas cores, assim que talvez resulte mais esperto reconhecê-los mudando a cor da luz. Com a ajuda adicional da lista de planetas de Sun, pode ser que a ordem que deve pulsar os botões do antigo painel de controle seja bastante óbvia. Tá, mas que besteira! Tá, pôs o vermelho.
I'll just wrap the cling wrap around the hard hat's lamp.
Um sapo com uma cabecinha bem pequena lá em cima. E que isso me diz quanto à ordem de colocar as coisas? E que isso tem a ver com os planetas da Sun? Ah, Juno. E daí vai ser essa ordem, então? Vênus, Marte, Júpiter, Juno? Então um deles é Juno.
I should remove the cling wrap before I pull the balloon over the hard hat's lamp.
E o outro é esse com o alicate apertando a cabecinha do sapo. Torniquete apertando a cabecinha do sapo é Vênus. Então é Vênus, depois Juno e depois qualquer um outro que eu não tenho ideia de qual é. Bandeira azul.
I should remove the balloon before I wrap the flag around the hard hat's lamp.
Meio peixe, meio submarino. O meio peixe, meio submarino é Netuno. Então aperto Vênus, Juno e Netuno. Qual que era Vênus mesmo?
Which symbol should I choose in the second row?
Esse era Vênus, Juno
What should I choose in row 3?
e Netuno.
Done. This must be the back wall of that ugly face, which means I should be right behind Sam.
Sam?
Sam, can you hear me? What was that? It came directly from that horrible face. But it sounded almost human. This cannot be. My mind is playing tricks on me. It just cannot be. Pull yourself together. It's only a figment of your imagination.
Psst, Max, the statue works like a megaphone. People can hear you for miles around. Your voice is extremely distorted, but the guard can still tell it's human. If this guy gets suspicious, we've got a problem. While we still have the element of surprise on our side, we should make good use of it. We should be able to take the guy on between us, right? I have no idea how Max managed to get through the temple's back door, but the fact that he's here now significantly improves my situation. But the guard is still armed, and his buddy must be hanging out here somewhere as well. We need to be extremely careful.
Agora pode trabalhar trocando coisas com a Sam. Então é isso, hoje vamos parando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, as dicas, a torcida, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.